How we all doing today?
Pretty good, pretty good.
Well.
Got a big smile on your face?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's trying to accomplish something today. I'm very excited.
Okay. What was that?
Go see his mom.
Okay.
Okay, you want to sit with TT? You gonna be still with TT? I'm gonna beat you
Yeah.
up.
So how was your journey with the coffee?
I haven't cracked it open yet.
Okay.
But I got me a soda machine. My grandma
Okay.
gave me a soda machine too.
Okay. So now you're just accumulating stuff.
Yeah, all I need is the juicer and the blender, and I'm good to go.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Put it into the works.
Mm-hmm.
You writing more into your book?
Alright, sit
Okay.
on your booty.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's actually what we're gonna tap into, right? So let's think for a second, right? This past week, just put in your mind's eye everything that went on this past week, right? Your thoughts, your actions, your behavior. Focus on that for a minute. Now I'm going to ask, this past week, based upon your energy, your effort, and your use of time, was it worth mentioning in your story the narrative of your life? Think about that. This past week, the way that you used yourself, the way that you used your energy, the way that you interacted with other people, was it worth
Yes,
your time?
it was my time because I've been to a brother that got in the show biz, and I bet it's gonna bless me soon.
Okay.
So it's what.
Okay. How about anybody else? Don't necessarily have to say anything, but I want you to think about it. Right? Because we've been talking about declaring your truth. Right? We're talking about conveying your truth, disseminating your truth. But now I want you to think about the facts of how you used yourself last week. Remember we talked about, got the observer, then we got you and what you say. And what we say isn't as important as what?
The action.
Yeah, what we do. Exactly. So are you using yourself to actually get what you want?
I feel like I'm starting to.
Okay.
I ain't gonna, it's baby steps. You know?
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Because everything, now think about this for a quick second, based upon those baby steps, right? The sun is huge, right?
Of course.
The earth is huge, right? This building in reference to us is huge, correct? This block is huge. All of these things started from the same point. An atom, and you also got subatomic particles, but it all started from an atom. They're building blocks. Nothing started out big. Everything starts out the exact same size.
Hush.
So sometimes when we say I'm taking baby steps, that's because I don't want you to think that I'm not doing any work.
I tell you what,
I mean,
I'm not. I mean, that's all of us. That's what we've learned.
I mean, yeah, but
Big Bang, Big Bang.
Right.
Okay, now look. Look at the Big Bang. Now the tree falls in the park. And nobody hears it. Does it make a sound?
Yes, because they're sound waves.
No. Nobody has to hear it. It doesn't make
It
a
doesn't.
sound.
It doesn't exist to me, but it exists to those other things that are there.
I'm not saying. I'm listening to the.
No, I understand. That's one of those things that have been passed on. Let me give you another one, right? A cup is half full or half empty, right?
that's how you think.
That's how you think. That's what they tell you, right?
Right.
I disagree. The cup is always full. Even if nothing's in there, you got to realize that we're inside of a realm that is not empty.
A glass full of ether.
Exactly. That glass is always full. Now, if we want to talk about the things that we're putting into it, other particles, other, chemicals, that's another conversation. But it's not looking at it half full or half empty. I look at it as always being full. But what do I want in the cup becomes the real question. Does that make sense? So we have to make sure that as we use ourselves in this past week, as we use ourselves yesterday, as we use ourselves today, is serving something. So those baby steps are serving, right? You got to see the blessing, the beatitude in that, because that's your progressive realization of your most worthy idea. And so last week we asked, are you worthy to get what you want? And so now I'm going to ask you, are you competent to get what you want?
What's competent?
Competent, meaning do you have the skill?
Oh,
Do you have the ability? Do you have the experience to get what you want?
I mean, sometimes you don't have to go into things with the experience. You can, I say it's the effort and the motivation you have to push to what you want.
Yeah, effort and motivation is definitely key, because those things start to tap into our center being, right? So are you capable of getting what you say you want? That sounds like a question.
I mean, it's no.
There's a question mark on the end of that. I think so.
I mean, yeah, because like I said, it just goes back to basic stuff, you know?
Right. But recognize how those statements are in contradiction. And that's why I use the word competent. The root of that word competent deals with competition, being a competitor.
With yourself.
Yeah, that's what it really boils down to. So now you're saying, I think I can do it. I'm going to take baby steps.
You got a point.
Right? You see? So now we've learned that we're being judged. So we use our communication in a way to fight against potential judgment. Like, yo, you're doing good. Well, I'm doing my best. I'm all right. Instead of saying, you know what? Hey, I'm getting it. And then, like, because then now the follow-up is, but it doesn't look like you don't have this. People start to acknowledge your what?
What you have.
What you don't have.
Oh, yeah.
You see? Think about it. Whenever you've been assertive about something, what happens? Right? A lot of times, yeah, you're going to get it. But a lot of times people that you're talking to, they're going to expose where they are on your spectrum of support.
And that goes to hate.
Right? Be like, yo, I'm making things happen. You still riding the bike?
So?
It's like they're going to find.
Right, so what?
You know what I mean? But that's what happens.
Get you to point A and B.
Exactly. But that goes back to identifying success as that progressive realization of your most worthy idea. So long as I'm moving toward it, right? I don't have to communicate with people in a safe way. I'm trying to protect my self-esteem when I'm talking to them. So I come right back. Are you able and capable of getting what you say you want?
Yes.
Yes. Are you capable of getting what you say you want? Are you capable of getting what you say you want?
when you declare it.
When you declare it. You see? And so when we talk about that competent again, that word is in essence seeking to get something. Because everybody say, hey, are you competent to do this job? Are you competent? They're giving you the something. The something would be that job. Right? And they're asking you, are you suitable based upon your skill, your experience, your needs, the needs of the job, or what have you. So when I ask, are you capable? Think about this, right? We talked about the source of existence is in everything. Is the source of existence inside of you? So are you the source of existence? Exactly, right? So we have all of those principles. We've always had those principles. But inside of that, we talk about our truth, our authenticity, and our originality. There's nothing outside of that. Why do you think I say that? There's nothing outside of truth, authenticity, and originality. There's nothing outside of it.
Right, because it's inside of everybody. It's inside of everyone.
Okay. So, are you always in truth? Little man said, nope, not happening. Huh? Are you always in truth?
Real.
No?
I don't think no one is really.
Okay. So now you're going to protect yourself by bringing everybody into it. You're going to say, I'm not in it. Right?
Just be honest, yeah.
No, I understand, but that's how we, once again, that communication. So are people always authentic?
Get your thing
Yeah,
out
as long as
your
as long as you're yourself and not trying to be somebody else. Like, as long as you're focused on you and what
Well,
you can become, then
So if I'm being somebody else, am I authentic?
no, hell no. Hell
you
no.
saying like in truth, like telling, like being straight up telling the truth, like, or you saying like within yourself, like, yeah,
Are
'cause
you
I'm
being
not trying to
honest
be
with
nobody
yourself?
else, but it's like,
Truth is the actual state of a matter.
okay, yeah, I wouldn't say I wouldn't then.
So even if I'm telling you that I am 7 feet tall,
No.
That's a lie.
what do you mean?
And I know I'm
Unless it's your
6'1".
spirit.
It's the actual state of the matter,
Oh,
right?
no.
How I see myself. If I see myself as 7 foot,
Hell yeah. And I see
how are you
myself
going to
as
tell
wrong.
me that my truth
Going.
is a lie?
I mean, cause you probably not 7 foot
Right?
in reality.
How are you measuring?
And by your physical.
No.
So what if I had 7 feet on top of each other? His.
Not me.
What if I had 7 of his shoes
I'm 6'.
Me.
put on top of each other? I'm greater than 7 feet,
Yeah.
Me.
right? So it was really a perspective piece.
You're right.
So you're basing it off of somebody giving you certain measurements.
So that's like me being 4'9", and I could walk to that door and then say 4'9". It's like right here, but 4'9", you really right
Right.
here.
But it all depends because those are still feet, right?
Yeah.
So somebody, once again, gonna talk about communication. Start talking about language. You start to judge me on my truth because you don't even know how I measure. Does that make sense? You don't even know how I measure. And you're judging my truth to the point you call you lying. Right? But that's how we've learned. Right? So we start talking about getting on track with what it is you've declared. So am I competent? Am what I am seeking? Right? So if you're the source and I ask you if you can get what you want, what is the answer to that? Yeah. How so?
It's your determination.
Your determination?
Your willpower. How about that?
Your willpower? Okay.
Go your
I don't know. I can keep going on with that one.
For sure. So now here's the deal. Everyone's in truth. There's a state and a quality of truth. So even if I am telling stories about myself that don't add up, my truth may be that I can't face what it is that I'm actually going through. So is that not my truth? That I can't face the hardship of,
that's something that you.
yeah, right? So that's still truth. So we think that when a person is living in their truth, that it means that it's 7 + 7 = 14 in that way, although it still is. If my self-esteem doesn't allow me to see the good in me, my truth is I am blind to who I really am. That is the truth.
In denial.
And so the way that I'm living is based upon that truth.
What you think you deserve.
Right. That is your truth. So when people say I'm living my authentic life, that doesn't mean that they're doing well. You understand? Because it's going to be based upon the state and quality of what it is that their something is. What is it that I want? So you have to know the measurement. If I don't know what I'm measuring, it's impossible for you to tell me if I am right or wrong.
Right.
And most people inside of their own community, inside of their own bodies, inside of their own temple, don't have measurement.
Okay, example.
Example of not having your measurement?
No, I got my.
Oh, okay, yeah. Go ahead, tell me.
That's just like when I be like, I know I'm 5'1", but like in my head, I'm like 7 foot. I laughed that you said that because I say that.
For sure.
Like I worked on a construction site, so when I come in the door, it's like
Somebody's not expecting her to do what she's able
Right.
to do.
Her energy,
because
her
I'm a
ability.
concrete finisher.
For sure.
Yeah, so I don't know. I intimidate folks all that because I'm just very eager to just.
It'd be
do
like
it.
that when I drive a forklift.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm so small.
Okay.
I be,
Right.
Huh.
Right. Yeah.
So
But that's utilizing the tools And that's the same thing with you when we're talking about this measurement. It's utilizing those tools that link your consciousness in, right? So when you're mining your mind for the jewels of your soul, you have tools. And you are the principles of existence. Everything that exists, right? You have the capacity within you to utilize. You are a principle in nature.
I was watching anime last night, Jujutsu Kaisen,
Okay.
and he was I can't like verbatim, but he was like he was giving an example like you have electricity, right? But you have to have the tools to use it. So
Right.
like you like the TV.
Yes.
You have the electricity, but you have to plug it in.
Exactly.
You get what I'm saying?
For sure.
Yeah.
It's like being in this room, right? And they have a bunch of electrical sockets. You're sitting in this room in the dark because you don't know what.
What tools to use?
You have no idea what that thing is for. So you're sitting in the dark. The lamps are just unplugged. You don't know how to plug them in, but you're still connected. There's so much energy around you. You don't know how to plug in. So that goes right back to that measurement, right? So that measurement is coming from your center being. It's your purpose. It's your motive. It's how you activate your values. These are the principles in nature. So even when you go back to ancient cultures and you have attributes of deity, right? Each of those attributes are a principle that you can tap into. So when you call upon an ancestor who represents each of those attributes that are natural elements, mental and spiritual, now you're calling on that inside of you. You're making connections from those attributes so that you can become an expression. Right? We're talking about that spiritual impression and spiritual expression. That impression are those things that have an effect deeply on your mind and your feelings. Right? So you have to identify what that measurement is so that you can know what I'm plugging into. Right? You have a lot of sockets inside of you. You have to learn to plug it in. So, am I competent enough to get what I want? Am I suitable? And that means the minimal level of success. Am I suitable? And what would make you suitable to get what you want? What would make you suitable? Right? I saw that head there.
Are you asking?
Yeah. What would make you suitable to demonstrate? Suitable meaning that you have the skill, you have the experience, you have the ability to get what you want.
I don't know. I think I'm already suitable because I already know what I want to do. So like, once again, like the construction life, that's me.
Okay.
So I'm already suitable enough to go in there and get what I want and go to work.
Okay. What's your purpose?
My purpose, in that field, or just in
You want me to give you your purpose?
Yeah.
Then that means that you're not there, right? And the reason why I say that is you want clarity on your purpose, right? So the measurement is going to be based off of what is the point of me waking up in the morning? What is the point of me using myself? What is the point of me feeding myself? What is the point of me going to work? What is the point of those things are your measurement for how you use.
I don't know, to be honest, when I wake up, I don't even be thinking about stuff like that. For real. I really don't. When I wake up, first thing I probably like, dang, what the hell I just dreamed about?
Right.
I just dreamed about something. Then after that, I look at my son. He's still asleep. And then I try to go see what Reese doing. I really think about my family first. That makes sense. So.
Right. And so that may be very important to you, but think about it this way. I'm standing right here, and I don't know where I'm going. Does it matter what road I get on?
Yeah, it does.
I don't know where I'm going. I'm just gonna go.
Say,
Yeah. So what am I able to manage to make sure that my travels are going to be great? I have to travel, but I don't know where I'm going. How am I going to ensure that my travel is the way that I want it, that I'm going to stay in a state of well-being, I'm going to be in a state of happiness?
It depends on what you're doing though. What you going to do?
I have no idea where I'm going. I'm just gonna walk
Just gonna walk.
because I don't know where I'm going. Most human beings in a capitalistic society, right, are being driven to make money, and so they give you a lot of things to chase. People going to school not knowing why they're going to the university. People go and get trades, not getting a trade so they can get a job, right? But none of these are actually tapping into your true purpose. So we go right back to, in order for me to be suitable, to have the right experience, the right skills, the right interactions, the right relationships.
Isn't that like your grocery list?
That's that grocery list. But I have to know what I'm buying groceries for. Am I trying to be a weightlifter? Am I trying to be thin? Am I want to be obese? You understand? So what happens is I must know my something. And most people are doing whatever gets me through this moment. So you wind up in cycles of success, pain, despair. Let me go find something, because I'm constantly looking for something to fulfill me without being purposeful. So I'm sitting here at the street again, and I'm just going to travel having no idea where I'm going. But now, once again, I'm going to North Augusta. Guess what I know for a fact?
You're going to North Augusta?
Yeah, guess what? I can walk past somebody and ask them, hey, what direction is North Augusta? Now I have the opportunity to even get support on my travel. But when I don't know where I'm going, what am I going to ask people? Hey, what do you guys do here? That's what you're going to ask. Hey, what do you guys do here for fun? How do you guys, enjoy yourselves here? That becomes a question versus a question that's leading you towards your fulfillment. And so most of us, I'm going to ask you when we started about this past week, how did you use yourself to demonstrate that observer saying, hey, you are making it happen for yourself? Or words. You're just talking, right? And then you're wondering why your situation don't change. So am I capable of getting what I truly want? And so I have to be able to have the skill of self-leadership. So I have to make sure that I'm leading myself to where I want to go. And because I know where I'm going, I can also get support on that journey. We're talking about that weology again, right? And now I got to know how I'm going to make decisions. Because I know what my something is, my decisions are all aligned with what? With what? With your something. We're just using the term something right now. That something is going to become something, right? But it's just a placeholder right now. You see? So you have to be able to align your energy with what it is you want to have happen. So it's sitting in the dark with lamps unplugged, but knowing you need light. Like, I can't never do nothing here. Sun go down, or it appears to go down. Now I gotta sit in this dark. But you have everything you needed around you.
It's like trying to make a fire with no wood.
No, it's trying to make a fire with a match in your hand and a lighter
And don't know what to
and
do.
gasoline on the wood, and you don't know that you need to strike it.
Mm-hmm. Ah, okay.
You understand?
I was close. You
Yeah.
got the point, though. You got the point.
You see?
Mm-hmm.
But once you realize that you can start that fire,
Oh, it's on from now.
what does that change?
Mm-hmm. Everything.
Shit, you warm.
Your mind.
You be warm. What else does it change? It allows you to be warm.
You can
Now you can eat. You can cook.
eat. Yeah.
You see, now your whole life automatically starts to
It's
change.
expanding.
And so what makes you, we go back to the question, are you competent to get what you want? Yes, you have access to your mind. And we talked about the moment you said, I want different.
What are you doing to make
Yes.
everything different?
You see? How are you using yourself? And that truth, coming right back, There's a state of truth.
I want to lose weight to eat McDonald's.
Yeah. So now I have to change the truth. It's like maybe I've accepted that people say I should lose weight. So I'm trying to lose weight because people say it and they're telling me this. But my truth is I want to eat what I want, when I want, how I want, and whatever happens, happens. That'd be your truth. But now you wind up in a state of a lie or using your truth against you to feel a certain way. It's only in our ability to use language do we get the opposite. But the true state of a matter, which identifies truth, could be that I'm not using myself for my best interest. That is your truth. And so we talked about that perception. So now I have to change my perception that aligns with my what? Your center being, right? Your something, your purpose. Because that's how you start to measure what you do. Right? And we started earlier, you guys, I said, look, I'm 7 feet. You're like, right. Because you weren't looking through my measurement. You weren't looking through his shoes. Because they're still called feet. I don't care how big. I didn't say they was based off of 12 inches.
Shoot, I'd be blind. You wouldn't elaborate on it, you know?
Right, but you already made a judgment. So why would you make a judgment without me elaborating on it instead of asking me a question?
It was a long pause.
right. But I know my truth. Right? You gave me your perception of my truth without a question. I could pause forever. I know what's going on with me. Right? So this is how our relationships work. So I could have paused forever and even left. You see? And you would have been still stuck in your judgment. Instead of wondering like, well, how you measuring, D? What's really going on? Right? So that's where we wind up. And so that's one of the principles in weology is the question is more important than the answer. But we make assumptions. So me being capable, you being capable, we being capable and competent to get what we want is based off of how we use our principles. So what am I leading myself toward? What are my decisions being linked to?
Your true self.
Your true self. So if my decision making isn't being linked to my something, I can be in a bad relationship and stay in a bad relationship because any road is going to get me to I don't know where I'm going. But if I came into this saying you're going to treat me and make me feel like the person that I see myself as, the moment things start going sideways to that, what do you? Yeah. But you don't have to dip. The question is more important than the answer. What are you attempting to do with this relationship? This person just might have learned poorly. She once again made an assumption.
Right, but then that goes to like what I asked you last week.
Explain it. Ask me again. Right, because now what you said last week, now you already know I'm gonna be a straight talker. You were sideways, right?
Yeah.
And what you're gonna tell me right now, I'm gonna tell you where you're going.
Okay.
What you're gonna tell me right now, and I don't want you to change it, is gonna make my point even more clear. Go ahead.
Oh, damn. See, look, you made me forget.
Okay, so you're in a bad relationship.
Yeah.
Okay? And now if I start that off, knowing what I'm leading myself toward, I know that my decision making, there we go.
Okay, so it's just like how I was saying, how can you show, like, if they was never really shown love, and they're trying to get that at a way later age.
Yes.
And me, I'm still trying to learn. You told me you can't teach. You can't.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
So did I say anything about teaching?
No, you didn't. But you get.
I said now, here we are, we're in this relationship.
Yeah.
Right? And I know how I want to be treated. I know how my character is. And I know what my expectations of myself and what people who are going to deal with me are. And now you're treating me in a way that I don't want to be treated. What I said was what? The question is more important than the answer.
Oh, yeah.
What is it that you're attempting to do with this relationship?
Okay.
You understand?
Yeah.
So now by me posing that question, this person has to give a response for themselves. Because this person just might have learned poorly, to your point, might have learned poorly. So they thought that that was the way to engage and interact. And now by you posing that question, this person has to pause. Like you said earlier, you were like, oh, you can pause for a long time. Gonna pause and say, wait a minute.
But
I don't know, I'm just in it.
You say your wife wrote something.
Yeah, we'll get to that too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so we'll get to that as well. And so what happens is, you pose that question so that you can make a response. And now you can see if this person just had mistaken education about relationships and that person wants to do better. So this person didn't realize or accept, just because a person does something that you don't like, doesn't mean that their intention was for you to be upset.
Man, what you said?
That might have just been how they've learned to live their life.
I'm sorry, we're gonna have to agree to disagree.
Right? Think about it. If I've learned, I grew up in an abusive house, right? And I saw love being when you hurt somebody, you buy them something, or there's certain things that you learn.
I've been there.
Because we are learning entities, right? As human beings. So this person learned how to be engage a relationship incorrectly. So this person might have thought that me controlling you was love. But now when you pose that question, what do you want out of this relationship? And the person says, well, I want you to listen to what I tell you to do. And now you're able to be like, okay, well, what if I don't see our relationship as such?
Or is it worth listening to?
Right. But here's the deal. But if you've already made a judgment before you gave a person an opportunity, you're the one in the wrong. Because this person, by posing it, this person can say, well, you know what? That makes sense. Why? Right? Because all of us who've ever changed had to come to a point that said what I did before wasn't working. If you've ever changed, you either subconsciously or consciously said what I was doing wasn't working. So when you pose this, because you to say, did it even make sense to pose the question? No, it does. If you're in a relationship. Because if not, you're going to always run. You're going to always be in bad relationships because the second it doesn't work the way you want it to work, you're going to dip. But you might have dipped on the wrong people. Because now you pose, they might not have known. Because like I said, I might have learned that this is the way you treat your women. Or the women saying, this is the way you treat your man. Because of what they've experienced. There could be their trauma, or when they don't even have to be through trauma, but it's just based upon what they saw day in and day out.
Or how their parent, like if you was raised in a,
We was raised in America.
Yeah, no, he wasn't.
Granny and Grandpa.
Grandpa. That's mama and daddy.
No.
Yeah,
I'm just saying we
she get what I'm
were.
saying.
Right.
We were.
And so that's what happens is how you perceived what took place. So now you're giving a person an opportunity to actually grow in a relationship. A relationship is communication. It's relating to another person. Most people aren't relating. You're not doing what I want you to do, boom, I'm out. And then you keep going through those cycles, right? There's almost 100% failure rate in relationships. Almost in terms of,
Is that factual?
okay, here's the deal. Let me give it to you. Are you in a relationship right now?
No.
So you got 0 success. So how many relationships have you had? Let's say you've been in 10 relationships.
Ow.
And you're at 0. So 0 out of 10 is 100% failure rate in relationships.
That's just for me.
So is that factual? Is that actual factual?
I mean,
Now, here's the deal. Let's say I'm married now. Is this the only relationship I've ever been in?
no.
So all the other ones failed. So if I've been in a lot of relationships, right? We're going back to 5th grade, high
I
school.
don't count that.
Doesn't matter. If I've been in 10 relationships and only one of them are currently successful, that's 10%. Now my 10% and your 0%, and now we can keep going. There's almost 100% unless you have one relationship and you're only in that relationship. You know where that happens? Mostly in arranged marriages.
Yeah.
You understand? But if the reality, so we're talking about the reality. I'm only saying that to say that we have poor relationship building tools and skills. Because we're going to assume, okay, this person doing what I don't want them to do. They're their own universe. They have their own wants, desires, trauma, failures, fears, idea of self-esteem in practice. They have all of that themselves. And you're still working on yours, but they must be perfect. So I'm going to pose the question, hey, what do you want out of this relationship? So that I can identify if there's something for us to work on, or we need to dip. But the problem is, when should this have started?
The beginning.
At the beginning.
Yeah.
Right? So how have I been using myself in order to fulfill what I declare? My purpose. Right? But we're not going to regret where we came from, because that can hurt where we're going. Well, I'm going to be, because I don't want to be a failure, so I'm going to keep doing these things that aren't working.
What if you don't regret it, but it still hurts?
Yeah, it's going to hurt.
Yeah, so good.
But in your state of learning, right, I'm going to put my mind and my energy on my something. So the way that I make leadership decisions in my life and how I engage other people are going to be based upon my something. Let's say my purpose. The way that I make decisions will be based upon my purpose. So now I ask you, if I'm having thoughts about past relationships and they were painful and they were hurtful, is that supporting where I'm going? How can I look at these painful events in a way that it helps me where I'm going?
As a lesson.
As a lesson. So how did I use myself here? See, these are things that are void of emotions. So if something was to happen to you and the first thing you did, you trained yourself to say, well, what am I to learn from this? Versus, what am I to feel from this? Right? Somebody comes up, slaps you, and you're all in your feelings, ready to go. My first response is to look around.
What? No, it's not my first.
Yeah, you can be set up.
That's true.
This person is attempting to get you into a certain situation.
That's self-defense. I'm going to hit you back.
See, that's the idea. Your idea of loss is different from my idea of loss. So this person might slap me and I do nothing at that moment because I see that people are waiting for me to do
They trying to get a
something.
reaction out of you.
Right. Oh, thank you, sir. You know what? I needed to be waking up today. Oh my God. Thank you for that slap. Right? So when I see strength, you might see weakness. You understand?
Yeah.
And so I made sure that that slap was going to be the least
You caught them off
and the
guard.
greatest of what they can do to me at that moment. You see, I saw my number, so I allow my ego to say, oh man, ain't nobody gonna walk up and slap me under the... No, you got to understand your situation. And so a lot of times we put ourselves in worst situations because of our ego, not because of our intellect and our something.
Okay, so now I was just sitting here thinking. So can we backtrack what you said about
All the time.
Okay, wonderful. Honestly, when I woke up, my whole thing was about survival.
Okay.
Like, I know what I want to do, and I know where I'm trying to go. But right now, like, in life-wise, in my mind, mentally, for myself, I'm trying to survive right now.
Mm-hmm.
I have everything written down, everything mapped out how I want it to go. But right now, it's just survival and my child. So, without, I guess, the guidance from my mom, because she's supposed to be like the nurture type, and give advice, it's kind of hard to even figure out the purpose of what I really want to do, even though I know what I really want to do. But just right now, honestly, for myself, it's survival, and it's poorly. I wake up every day, smoke a black, smoke some weed. I have so many creative thoughts in my head, but we're just gonna be real honest right now.
For sure.
This is not No, like it's nothing to step forward for me to get to where I need to go because of
Right.
my natural and because
Of course.
certain things, because me taking on a role to make sure my sister's straight, to make sure I'm straight, to make sure my child's straight, to make sure, you know, like, and mom, you know.
So
and
what would
mom-
you want to change?
to change?
What would you want to be different?
I'm tired of waking up trying to figure out what to do next.
Okay. So what do you think that would be? Whatever comes to mind. What do you think that would be?
Well, I kind of beat myself up.
Okay.
I don't really look at them too, like, you know what I mean? Even though we have our own, you know, group meetings and, you know,
For sure.
as a family.
For
but
sure.
Me personally, it's for myself because I know that I should be someone way better than
Mhm.
where I'm at now, and the type of knowledge that I have and the people around me. Like, we have great support.
For sure.
The biggest downfall for me and my sister are men. And my dad said,
Most of the planet too.
huh? Where's the planet?
Because of men,
of
yeah,
course,
because
course,
of men,
but
because of the planet.
It's men, because my dad was military.
Right.
You know, my grandparents. He was the financial role
Right.
while he's overseas. My grandparents was our mom and dad. So
Right.
we rainbows and unicorns all day long. Like, we didn't have to.
We were very sheltered.
Yes, very sheltered. You know, so,
So
when
let's-
I finally hop off the porch,
Mhm.
as we can say, like, that kind of messed me up, knowing that I didn't really have to do that.
For sure.
But I'm the rebellious one,
Mhm.
you know, because I want to know what's out there.
Choices.
I want to know,
Right.
you know. So, with
So-
that being said, my dad said he failed to teach us that people don't give, you know.
Right. So those are the things that want to get passed on to us. We talked about this once before in terms of the messages that we absorb, right? So what I want to get to you, there's 4 keys to thriving, right? That first key is investment and investing. It's a journey. It's a continuation,
Yeah.
right? You're constantly becoming. Okay. So this first state of investing, and all of the things that you're referring to, is investing in what? What are you investing in? What part of self? What we've been talking about today, right? That center being. You're something,
Yeah.
right? So because I'm standing here, we talked about earlier, and I don't know exactly where I'm going, I have ideas of what I want, and that's different from knowing where I'm going.
Yeah.
And so because I don't know where I'm going, any road is going to take me there. But now when you wake up and say, as we mentioned earlier, I'm going to North Augusta,
Yeah.
how these thoughts come up, right, are going to be associated with this second stage of thriving, which is strategic living. So now I have to figure out, how do I make my something happen? And so as I mentioned before, take you through the process to identify your something, right? Your aspirations, going through your desires, looking at, a lot of times because we've been exposed to media, friends, a lot of different things of other people's success, we have a lot of this inside of us. So in order for me to say that I should be further along than I am without having a measurement, that's self-doubt. Those are problems of me getting in my own way. Because in order for me to say I'm not where I need to be, I had to have started with an outcome, not just an idea. Most of us have an idea because of everything we've seen. So success is that over there, but that might not be your success. And so I say I'm not where I'm supposed to be, but I say you are perfectly designed to get what you get. So where you are right now is exactly where you're supposed to be. If you don't like that, what has to happen?
Gotta change.
Change. Right? And so that's what we talked about before, that declaration. Having the audacity to declare your truth. Because right now your truth would be that, I'm not doing what I want to do. I know what I want to do, but I'm not doing it. That's the truth. Right? So now I have to take that truth and let it inform my investing. You understand? And so a lot of people are in that state. So I have to start how we started this whole piece. When I tell you guys, I see myself 7 feet, but it's your measurement. No one has your measurement. So how you see it, and you're in a state of survival, it's embrace it. What am I to learn from this? Not how do I feel about it. What am I to learn from the state that I'm in reference to the fact that even when I start with wherever else I want to be, I have to start with getting myself outside of the emotions that work against me.
I'm an emotional creature.
Everyone is,
I cry a lot.
right?
So that right there, that's gonna be a big challenge for me.
Right. And so we have those tools. As I said, everything that we discuss, there's a tool for it, right? And in the next few weeks or so, there's also going to be the growth shop that takes you through personalizing, having the audacity to declare your truth, your authenticity, your originality, having the audacity to convey or exist as your truth, your authenticity, and your originality. And then having that audacity to be able to disseminate, to put it into the world, that which is your truth. So it radiates from you as your authenticity, right? And so that's where it all comes in, because right now, these pieces are running through your mind, and you have to see that as a state of blessing, a state of growth, right? So there's a valley, and I make this valley a growth valley. I may be in the bottom of that growth valley, but that means that I'm working my way out. So a lot of people say I'm at the bottom of this, or I hit rock bottom. No, I utilize the words in my mind to keep me going to fulfill my purpose. So I'm in a valley of growth, and you're in a valley of growth because we've been going over these. You're getting more stuff in, you're writing things down, you're posing questions. That's getting you that next step, that next step, that next step. But all of us are always in a state of survival. So as you get to a certain level of growth, once you get there, now you got to survive at that level. And you grow, you get here, you got to survive at that new level. You're constantly going through these cycles. As we mentioned last week, everything boils back down to that life and death. The construction, you're constructing things, you're putting things together, you're building things. And then as you're building, guess what? Something is also being destroyed. There's destruction. Death is that destruction. Because there's two actual processes that no matter what's going on, your life is based upon. That no matter what's happening, these are the elements that your life is going through. And it's also going to be the forefront of your success. What is it? What do you think it could be? Say it again.
Life and death.
Life and death? Okay.
I was just about to say that.
Okay. How so?
Creation and destruction. So in order for something new to come about, you have to either create it, or if something's already there and it needs to be moved, you have to destroy it.
What you thinking?
I'm thinking yourself and your higher power,
Okay.
because I feel like y'all are working together all the time to reach your goals. I feel like I'm working with my higher power all the time to reach my goals.
Okay. But
Is that-
what allows that union between yourself and your higher power? What allows that union? These processes allow that union to happen.
It's just, I don't know what the two processes are, but
I know, we're going to get there.
yeah.
And it's going to make perfect sense. And so you have all the tools and everything that you need, but it's about being able to put them into practice, right? And the two things are approach and regulation. No matter what you're doing. So avoidance is an asterisk, because whatever, like if I'm working toward going to North Augusta, I am subtly working against what's behind me. If I'm working to be a good student, I am avoiding being a bad student. But my goal isn't to not be a bad student. My goal is to be a... So, but most people are creating patterns based off of what they don't want. I don't want to be broke. So now that becomes my goal. Don't be broke. So now anything, I'm chasing all kinds of things. So the approach and regulation is when things aren't necessarily what you want, you have to go back to the standard. That's what regulation is. Okay? So now when you get into self-regulation, you're going to have to address, as you're approaching whatever it is, you're approaching survival, you're approaching growth, you're approaching expansion and advancement, you're going to have to address things that aren't working out. And I have to stay regulated to my approach. And it's going to be based upon what I invested in. 4 keys to thriving. What did I invest in? My center being. And in my center being, we're referring to my motive. We're referring to my purpose. We're referring to my values. Being able to articulate, state, write, record my values. And all humans have, 10 basic values. And we'll get through those. But it's being able to approach your something, right? So it goes right back to, are you competent? Are you suitable? Do you have the skills to get what you say you want? So it's going to go right back to, what am I approaching? And you have everything you need. You have intellect, you have emotions, but you have to manage the emotions. You have the ability to make decisions, right? We talked about, what do you rule last week? And it has to be something in your position. So in order to convey your truth, you have to also be able to link into how you direct yourself. That's what you rule.
I feel like I got a blockage though.
How so?
My blockage is my best friend.
That's part of the problem.
And my best friend is next to me. That's kind of like my blockage, because I don't really have big support like I would want to have with my child.
Right.
Like, no offense to them two, like, because I know he has a purpose. He wants to do what he needs to do, but he wants, he helps me too. You know what I mean? But I be feeling like I don't want to put, because this is not, but I don't want to put that on him to where it stops to where he's trying to go.
Right.
And then my sister, you know what I mean? She has her own.
Right.
And now we get to that point, like, family is all we got.
For sure.
So I don't want to have my blockage being on anyone else.
Right.
So I be trying to figure out myself.
So part of the situation, when you say a block, it's about, once again, that second key in thriving is strategic living. You don't have the right strategy.
Yeah.
Right? So it's a block because you don't have the right strategy.
Yeah. And then, like,
so let me finish. So are you the only person with a child and have to work and do it? Are you the only person in the world?
No.
Okay.
Because people got 7 kids.
So does everyone with a child have the same problem?
Probably.
No. Because if it was, then that means that's just what it is.
Oh, yeah.
Like, humans can't fly by themselves. Right? That's everybody's problem. If you see it as a problem. Right? So that's everybody. So if it's just you or a few people, your strategy needs to change. You haven't found the right strategy to make it work. Right? So inside of you being tapped into the source of all existence. Now you look at how all of these things work and happen at the exact same time.
Yeah.
You're tapped into all of that. He mentioned about the creative powers of self. You haven't creatively nor collaboratively and cooperatively addressed this in a proper way. That's all it is. It's a matter of strategy. So until you put yourself in a situation to fix that strategy, and once you recognize the strategy, doesn't mean it's not poof, there it is. You may have to put in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks for that strategy to kick in. That's how projects work, right? You have to create a project, right? And so you got to realize that it took you however amount of time to get to where you are. That is not going to happen overnight. There might be a strategy for it to happen overnight. I'm not saying there isn't. I'm just saying you have to be prepared for what the project states. Time is based off of the steps to accomplish what it is you're doing, right? So what we do with a calendar, they have given us steps of how the sun rotates, right? So they've given us months, hours, because those are steps. So when you create your project, your time is based off of the completion of each piece. That's what time is. If it takes you 2 days, that's your time limit for that. But if you don't put it together, you can't be in patience. Patience is being able to move at the direction and the pace that allows you to maintain well-being. That's patience. But what do I need in order to have patience? What do I have to have in order to have patience?
Time.
He says time. What do you need in order to have patience?
Understanding.
Understanding of
What you're trying to achieve.
what you're trying to achieve. Okay.
Yeah, I like to.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking that, but I couldn't. I'm not good with words, so I was trying.
I hear you very well right now. And
yeah.
I understand you completely.
Yeah,
I think you're excellent with words. Yeah. Right?
Facts. Facts.
So I just gave you the response, right?
Yeah.
Is that I have to know my something. I have to have my project, whatever the steps are. If I'm going into the university, it's a 4-year program. Guess what my patience is? At least 4 years. Because I can't, until I get that degree, my patience is based, I can't speed it up. Like you say, you take, 18 semester hours, right. That you can do that, but it's still going to be based off of steps. So instead of the 4 years, you do it in 3 years because you were able to make things happen. But if you take too much and you start to fail, then you were being haste. You were being in a state of haste. And all of the evils we do to ourselves come from us being in a state of rush.
You always tell me that, don't you? She always tell me that. I'm like, well, shit ain't happening fast enough.
Because I have no idea what I'm really trying to accomplish. So of course it's not happening fast enough. Because if I don't know exactly where I'm going, any road is going to get me there. I want to be somewhere, but I have no idea where that is. So stuff is running in my mind. Things are running in my heart. I am spiritually unsettled because I can't have patience. I can't move at a direction and at a pace that's going to allow me to stay in a state of well-being.
That's why some things don't really bother me as much as them two. Because I don't know.
Before or after you have the black and the weed?
But I'm just before that, because I done been in East LA homeless by myself with nothing.
Right.
No black, no weed, no nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Like I done been through a whole
You weren't
lot.
alone though.
Nah, God with me always.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like I done been through a lot just
For
by
sure.
myself.
Right.
So it is what it is.
Right.
But now that I know I got the access of what I want, I'm gonna get what I want. But I get it though.
Yeah. So we get back to that patience. We get back to, are you competent enough to get what you want? Because we started this whole series off on daring to get what you command, daring to get what you want, daring to get what you know you deserve. And so inside of this patience is going to tap into knowing what I'm daring to get. In order for me to have the audacity to declare, because right now everyone has declared something, But you might have subconsciously and just wound up in that situation. But everyone has declared something. But that declaration may not be working for your well-being. It may not work for your wealth. WELL-TH. Right. But if you make the triangle smaller, it'll fit inside of that square.
I mean, yeah, but you need a square to fit in the square.
Who said that? I just need the triangle to fit there. Because if I cut the triangle, if I cut the square in half, there's two triangles.
You're thinking outside the box.
No, I'm thinking inside of my perception in order for me to maintain wellness. Because if not, other people are going to wind up controlling you. Because somebody gave you that scenario. You're trying to fit this peg into the... Somebody started that. Same thing with the glass half full. I don't accept.
Right. You know what? I had the conversation with somebody yesterday, and they was like, I don't know how it went, but then the question arose like, why does 1 + 1 have to be 2? Why can't it be 5? Oh, something like that.
Because you want to pass grammar school.
Yeah,
Elementary school.
I'm just saying, but you get
Right.
what
I
I'm
get it. I
saying.
get you saying. Yeah. Right. Because every number is a percentage and portion of the next number. Right? So when people talk about the source, they talk about God. God can't be one. You understand? Does that make sense? Because 1 is just a portion of 2. 2 is a portion of 3. Right? So that leads you down that rabbit hole. Correct? So the source is all. You can't add to it. You can't take from it. We're all a part of all. Right? Weology.
It's 0, because like 0 + 2 is always going to be 2.
Well, 0 is just naught.
Well, yeah, but you get what I'm saying.
But here's the difference. So I don't get what people are saying. We're going to have a conversation, right? Because I had to train myself in order for me to get to wellness. I had to stop accepting what people gave me so that I can also learn the pitfalls that I taught myself, that I learned, right? So here's a practice for you. For the next few days, don't accept anything. Somebody says it's raining outside. Like, I don't accept that. What you mean? The water's falling. Like, no, I don't accept it. So you start to realize the things that you've become subconscious that you normally do. Okay, yeah, it is raining outside. Okay, I see the, oh, well, you need to do this in order to succeed. Like, I don't accept that. Make that make sense. Right? You're going to start getting at your own problems because you are the solution. However, you are also the problem. So even when we start to say anything outside of myself isn't working because of the people around me, that is blaming.
Yeah, you gotta put yourself into that too.
You know what I mean? And if I didn't accept to do anything for you, don't be holding me accountable for nothing.
So you got one finger, but you got 4 pointing back at you.
Yeah, without a doubt. And so that being competent begins, once again, knowing what you're leading yourself toward. How your decisions are being made. How you are analyzing what is necessary for your success. So something happens that's not in the plan, I'm going to say what? Something happens that's not according to the plan, I don't like the result, right away I'm going to say what?
Wait, I ain't even catch that. I was in a daydream.
That's okay. It's kind of dark out. I'm thinking that you in
But I was saying
an evening dream.
Oh.
Say that again.
I said it doesn't. From what you've said, you probably wouldn't think this way, but the way I would think is that I need to get out of this situation. Like
Okay.
right now.
And guess what? What am I attracting when I say that?
That you need to get out of this situation.
Uh-huh.
A new better situation.
How so?
Because if you attracted something bad, so I had a job. It was a bad job. People just coming for me all the time. So I quit.
Okay.
And
You got some
whatever.
nice skin.
Thank you. And I got a better job now.
Okay.
Yeah.
But what happened when you?
I struggled for a couple of weeks, but I have a
Okay.
better job now.
So when it first happened, what did you say?
I was happy.
You was happy
Because I
with
didn't
it?
have to go there anymore.
Okay. So at the moment they said you are fired, you said,
I
I'm
didn't
happy.
get fired.
Oh, you quit.
Yeah.
So the stage leading up to quitting, you were happy?
It was stressful. I mean, yeah.
You
but
find stress, you
whatever.
find, there are different levels of stress. So you were in a stressful state that wasn't working for you.
Yeah.
That's that emotional connection. So the point that I'm making is the moment something happens that goes against your plans, the moment the job wasn't working in your favor, I ask myself, what am I to learn from this? That's emotionless. So now once I ask myself that, I'm giving myself an approach to a response that leads to my next step. So people aren't treating right, and I say, yo, what am I to learn from this? That I'm either not communicating in a way that's going to allow me to build good or better relationships here. And if that checks off wrong, then I say, okay, what am I to learn from this? I'm to learn that this environment isn't conducive or it doesn't work for the way that I want to be in my work environment. What did I learn from this? That it is time for me to find another job. So none of those are going to be filled
Wait, hold on. I got
with emotions that lead me into stress.
I got something just like what she
Let me finish one last point on this. Because part of what we do when we change is we have to create positive stress. Positive stress is when you put yourself in a situation to do better. So now the positive stress may be, I'm going to find a job that I fit in. So my approach is to fitting in. That's healthy. My approach is looking for a job, getting accepted, putting all these resumes out. All of those are healthy stress. But the flip side, I hate being here, man. I can't wait to get away from these people. I'm da-da-da-da-da-da. So now, that's also, it's a fact on how the brain works. When you're in that state, your veins and different things, it's letting less oxygen go through your brain. So you're not able to get creativity going. So once you do it from the other approach, you are able to be more creative, right? And if you turn it into play, it's one of the other facts of science. If you turn it into a playful scenario, right? So, man, I wonder what kind of job I'm gonna get once I leave these people, right? And I start to put that energy, what do you think that does for you?
Get you excited.
But who rules how you do this?
You do. It's up to you.
Exactly. I rule where I direct myself. I rule my engagement. I rule my intentionality.
I know
What was you gonna say, sis? I'm
I'm glad you finished because it still goes to what I'm about to say.
Let's hear it.
So usually, like when I'm working,
Mhm.
you know, I'm usually like the happy spirit everybody likes to
Right.
be around. But say if like I just have one day to where I just want to be quiet, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then everybody think, oh, like what's wrong?
For
oh,
sure.
this, and I just say like I just don't feel like talking today.
Mhm.
Then the next day I just, it just be like another bad day for me. But then I just try and be the person everybody wants me to be,
Right.
the happy-go-lucky everybody
Right.
want to be around. So then it just puts me in a state of mind like, damn, like I'm just tired. Like just leave me the fuck alone. Like
Right.
just go on somewhere.
And guess what would happen if you said it the very first time somebody said something?
I mean, I have.
No, if you said it the first time, but then you also just said that you go along with it. So I'm going to go back to my statement.
Yeah.
What would have happened if you would have said that the very first time it happened?
I don't know.
You don't know.
And you're honest.
You think they still would have been trying to hold you to some other standard?
I mean, yeah, I don't try. No, listen.
Wait. Hear me out. Because everything you tried is, first of all, you taught them.
Mhm.
Wait, because you said it. I'm going to use your own words. You taught them, right,
Yeah.
how you are. And the day that you were quiet, you said, well, now I got to still be happy go because they're used to this person here. And so now I got to go through. I'm having another bad day, but now I got to go to work and I still got to be all happy and joyous. And so you taught them that they're not in the wrong for the expectation
Right.
that you led them.
But I done tried both. I done.
Right. But once you get it started, like if I treated my children a certain way for 2 years and I change on Monday, and then I go back to myself on Wednesday. I change on Thursday. What are they going to hold me to?
You bipolar.
What they have been taught. The brain is designed to create patterns, to find patterns. Because if not, the brain had to every moment learn a word, learn the pronunciation. Your brain will overheat. So patterns are created. That's how we see things. So if you see somebody wear the same clothes every day, your brain has already...
They don't have no clothes.
Right. Whatever it goes to, you're going to automatically label that. So every time they walk by, it might even be subconscious. Oh, that dude again. Or whatever. In your relationship, oh, you weren't like this when we first met. You're holding them to that pattern.
Yeah, because
that's how the brain works.
Yeah.
But the same way has to be reversed. Remember we talk about dissemination? Is reversing the force of energy from those original seeds. So now you have to take the pattern, got to create a new pattern. Like, hey guys, I'm not always going to be this happy-go-lucky person. And you might have to say that 12 times.
Yeah.
Because that's the habit. Our brains absorb, our brains learn. And just because we can think it doesn't mean change happens. You see?
But you do that to us though. See, like me,
because she love y'all. She don't do that to people she don't love. She don't do that to the people she loves. She don't
I'm saying like
burn y'all out.
she has some moment where she'll just go in her little own space.
For sure.
Me, I'm the invader. I'm in everybody's face.
Right.
Live 5 on the west side. Like I'm trying to make sure everybody okay. That's just me.
For sure.
But I do kind of get a little offended though when she do that.
Of course.
But that's just her though. I had to learn that because this is the grown Reese. I'm
For sure.
used to baby Reese.
Yeah.
And I had to realize that.
And so when we actually work on you identifying your purpose and putting all these things together, you don't change those things. Because what happened is, imagine me being a nurturer. If I am a nurturer and I see someone who I think needs to be nurtured, am I going to walk away?
Mm-mm.
So that's part of your habit.
Yeah, I'll never walk away.
So it's recognizing that piece. So it's not about, she's here. No, that's your personality, right? And we will tap into so you become more aware of those elements that are natural to you, so that you can get the potency that comes from that. But what happens is now you just have to change those habits, because this is the same thing when you make change for better, because you're going to have to personally go through those same things you have to go through with those other people, because you taught yourself, I've accepted these sayings from other people, I've accepted all of this other stuff, I accepted what people said was success. I want to make baskets. Whenever I'm making baskets, I feel great, right? People are, you never make no money making no baskets. People concerned about your money and not your health. You understand? They'll keep you quick on how much money you're not going to make, but they're not going to be quick on about you being enjoyed. Oh, you're going to be happy trying to find food. Because they've already said that you don't have the creativity to make that work for your betterment. That's what they said.
Okay.
Right? But people buy baskets, right?
Yeah.
You understand? So it's about how you do it. What if I created a stand where I made baskets, I hummed music while I made the basket, we recorded it, people was in experience. I created an experience around that basket. Guess what people are going to do?
Buy that basket.
Going to buy it, because we are naturally ingrained to hold on to experiences. Why do people pay all this money to travel? For that moment, to go sleep in somebody else's bed, pay extra amount of money in somebody else's for that experience.
Interview.
Because we're in the heart of us, we're seeking that which we're not feeding. Right? That tree never has to go anywhere to get everything it needs. Right? For me to feel that I must, and you can give all kind of excuses you want for it, it's just in my nature to go see how other people are living, doing different things. That's fine. I'm not speaking on that. I'm speaking on when we're doing those things in opposition to actually feeding what it is that we're really looking for. Right? So for millions of years, human beings did not travel for fun. Nor did they, only time they left was to get more food. Right? They found that inner self, that spiritual impression, and they created dances, created interactions. They created a oneness of community, living of, for, and by each other. So every need that needed to be fulfilled was being met. But only when I'm in a state of lack must I leave, and I have the nerve to use the term home. And the word vacation comes from the word what? Vacay, to vacate. Right? I must vacate to go get certain things. And I'm not saying anything wrong with, wanting to go and travel. That's not the topic. I'm referring to when we're doing it in search. Not in terms of enjoyment. Right? And so am I competent to get what I want? I have to tap into what I rule, my possessions again. I rule my direction. I have the competency. I have the skill. I have the experience to move in the direction I want to go. But I have to give it a direction.
My dad says that too. My dad says that a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know if he says you, but he says me.
She has a special relationship. You're not getting those kind of conversations. No, I'm just translating that for you.
My dad is that dad. I love my dad.
Yeah.
Really, and I feel like, boy, if my dad, we gonna rock bottom.
Right.
It'd be a lot of stuff that just, I don't know. Cause I got this thing where if you can't do what my dad do, then I can't even, and I done learned how to humble myself to that moment. Cause I love him.
For sure. Now remember we mentioned that earlier in terms of how our early environment starts to dictate how we judge other people. So I see a man being measured by this other man who had his own goals, his own life, his own travels. Right? And now, wait. Don't yell at your sister. You can yell at her on the way home.
What I'm saying, what they say when you have girls, like when you have daughters, like your daughter's gonna go out there and try to at least find some type of split image of what of their father.
Right. But now let's think about where this stuff starts, right? We always keep coming back to an industrialized environment. You realize that all of those things began when everybody in this village were of the same stock. You had the same cultural values, same leaders, same outcomes and outlooks in terms of us. So people had similarities that took place. So this woman who wanted someone like her father was inside of a village where men had to have a rites of passage. Men had to know how to take care of the family. Men had to know how to, you understand?
That's a learning process.
No, listen. What I'm saying is, you can't compare. Yes, it's natural for us to do those things. It's natural for a woman to, if the man is in the house or he's not there, her perception is going to align with it. But we're making reference to things that started before how we use them now. Where if that man wasn't a man, he wasn't even allowed to reproduce. No one was going to marry him because no woman was going to start a family with someone who didn't pass their rites of passage. People who did things outside of the values of the village. But now I can misuse you and just go on the other side of town.
That's tough.
So you're not going to be held accountable. So everyone still had the ability to think their own thoughts, but consequences. Like, yeah, you know what? I can go over here and throw rocks at the elders. I want to have a family. It's a choice. So people chose to make better decisions. Right? And so, yes, but the point I was making is we've learned these things. So now if I ask the question before, you like, oh, I don't even want, we gotta ask the question. If you ask the question, if he was to ask you, why are you treating me this way? Or what do you see in a relationship? And if you bring that up and he says, well, this is how I see the way that you treat a woman, your spouse, and this is how you head a family. Now you create a what?
Conversation.
In the beginning, that was the
Word.
you
word
create
was
a discussion.
Yeah.
But see, okay, one more thing. He
There's never one more thing.
okay. When he tells me that one of the reasons why he loves me is because me and my son reminds him of him and his mom
Right.
and what they've been through. So like sometimes I be like, I hope that's not the only reason why you love me, because of the trauma, you know, that you and your mom, you know what I mean, went through. And I know it's hard.
But what if that is super, impressive inside of him?
Yeah.
So you're measuring.
I know. I'm saying I like that.
Yeah.
That's the first time I ever.
What I'm saying is our communication. So you're measuring without his input. And that's what we do in our relationships. That's what gets us to our assumptions. We start to measure our spouses on our assumptions.
Yeah.
And then hold them accountable to whatever you came up with inside of your own conversation.
Yeah.
And then you looking at them strange.
Yeah.
Right? So part of weology is, once again, starting to be honest. And so that wealth, and I'm going to start leading out with this in terms of getting to that sound mind, right? You have to get to a sound mind where we're looking at the outcomes we want, not how we feel about things, but we're looking at how do we want this situation to look? What do we need to do to make this situation look that way? And then we get that together. Now we go into our clean emotions. That means we're utilizing our emotions that support our purpose. So if anger doesn't support it, then you use anger for what it is as a signal that something might not be working for you. Not that you have to lash out, but it's your problem. You have to figure out why you're receiving things a certain way. And then you got to get into your authentic character. So we talk about authenticity, but getting into your authentic character, that supports your purpose. That supports your center being. That allows you to be liberated from your self-defeating scenarios. Allows you to be liberated from that self-sabotage. It allows you to be liberated from that self-doubt. Because we even have self-doubt when there's something I want to tell my spouse, but I don't think they're going to take it right. I don't think they're... And so I create the excuse I don't have the words. Well, we had no problem getting hooked up. You understand? So we might have to take 30 minutes to try to figure out the proper way to say it to each other while we're talking. That's part of the growth. That's part of building a bond. And so weology, building community, starts with that inner community and realizing that the struggles you have getting yourself right, you have to accept that that person next to you is also doing that. But how you create that big bang, as the elder mentioned earlier, that big bang is when you guys start to share your divinity together. Your divinity meets his divinity. Your divinity meets her divinity. Once they come together, now we start to look at things from unity. We start to look at things that union with your higher power. That's in action. A lot of us only have it in words. I pray in sound, but not through body. Right? I'm not making it literally magic. I'm not taking what's in my mind's eye and what I see as being the best, and then letting it shine through my motion. Right? We talk about being that pilgrim in your consciousness, navigating. But you have to have direction. So what do you possess? That direction. Your ability to engage, whatever you want to engage. Your ability to make choices based upon whatever level of learning you're at right now. How you protect your self-esteem is also going to get into the choices you make and how you even try to fool yourself that that's the right choice when you know it wasn't, and that's why you try to come up with another thing behind it. And so you have to activate what is for you. And it's not going to happen overnight, but you have to work it. But as long as I know where I'm going, I can ask people on the way, hey, how do I get here? How do I get there? But if I don't know where I'm going, I don't know what questions to ask. So I have to be able to do what is necessary for me to show myself that I'm worthy for what I want, because I have the competency, I have the skills, I have the experience that I need. Just have to unleash it.
Unleash, I like that word.
You see?
Like I said.
I need to redirect it, because everything that you want, you've already done it, probably in opposition. So dissemination is that reversing that force of energy. You just got to reverse it. I was walking this way and it's not where I want to go. I got to go in reverse. I got to go in that other direction. Does that make sense? So that's where we are. So daring to get what you command. Daring to get what you want. Daring to get what you know you deserve is all inside of you. Unleash, unveil, and put into practice. Questions?
What's your ring mean?
A lot. Everything that we said. So it means definity and recognizing that you have to sacrifice in order to be your purpose. Right? So that's that double ankh as well.
So what did you sacrifice?
In order, we talk about success being a limitation, right? So for me to do what I do, for me to do what is a natural inclination for me, that means there's other things I can't do. I can't go hang out. I can't go, just shoot the breeze, because my purpose and what I am here to do won't allow it. So it's recognizing what it means to be in your purpose. If you want to be a pro basketball player, you can't be spending, 90% of your time playing tennis. It's the economics of time. So my sacrifice are those scenarios. And so even you look at like a lot of things that people overlook when you look at people who've helped other people have the ability to do whatever they want. You can take Malcolm X. You can take, people that most people know, Martin Luther King. When you look at them, you realize that they had to sacrifice their families.
Literally.
You understand? So they couldn't be out there playing kickball because they were ingrained in the trenches of changing the lives of everyone. So they had to give those things up. Being able to, people talk about letting seeing your children get married and do these different things. Had to sacrifice that because his natural inclination was to support the change of how people that looked like him, felt like him were. And so a lot of times when people are social changers, people don't recognize those sacrifices. This person couldn't go sit, have a beer, and watch a basketball game because this person is preparing to go speak in front of masses of people to help them get their lives right. Knowing that this person has to be a target so that you're not a target, right?
Like that movie you like. What's that movie?
So we have to make sure that whatever your purpose is, on whatever level your purpose is, there's going to be a sacrifice. And there's going to be people that you've trained and taught that it was okay for you to do what you do, but your purpose changes that. They're also going to become your what?
Your downfall.
Not going to be a downfall. It can be a distraction, and it can cause you to derail because you don't want them to feel a certain kind of way.
Then it's still your fault.
100%. Right? But that's what's going to happen when you change. If you, were someone who was out breaking and entering, doing a lot of things, hanging out with your friends, and that was the environment you grew up in, and that's what you did, but then for some reason, one day, someone spoke to you and you wanted to do things differently. Guess what your friends are still going to see you as?
Traitor.
Yeah. No, they're going to come to your house like, yo, dude, we about to go do something. And you like, yo, I'm not trying to do that. Oh, come on, you always.
You always breaking with us.
Exactly.
Crime with us.
So that becomes that regulation. Remember, approach, regulation. So now, what am I approaching? I'm approaching that I got to do things differently.
No, they really not your friends. They could just join.
See, now we just judge them. They were taught that this was okay. Now they supposed to
I mean,
be okay?
I'm just saying. Then it just goes to another thing.
Right.
True friends, if they,
Okay, let me switch it up then. Let's say this person changed, but now this person is doing a different type of crime, right? And so his friends who would normally go out with, so now he's like, yo, I don't want to go out because what I'm going to do is I'm abusing my neighbor. Okay? So that's why I'm not going to go out. But his friends like, yo, you always go out with us. Why you not coming with us? Same scenario. Are they still not your true friends?
Right, y'all still doing
I mean,
Your analogies, man.
Yeah, right? So it's going to be our perception. And if nobody can actually own anything, are there any criminals? So that becomes a whole other conversation. If I never taught you that you shouldn't be taking people's stuff, and I didn't create a society where for millions of years people didn't steal from each other. So obviously something changed for people to have to. So if we stop blaming, what am I to learn from this? So once you change, you taught people how to treat you. And that person cared for you who said we always did this. I'm wondering why you're changing what my brain has made a record. And that's the same thing happens in grief. When you lose someone, your brain doesn't recognize that that person is no longer here. And that's that grieving. And people that you didn't have that actual connection with is whatever. Because they don't rest in your brain. They haven't made a physical residence inside of your brain. So that person is in the first stage of grief. Dude, you always hang out with us. You're about to stop hanging out with us. I'm about to go into a stage of grief and loss. See, we don't look at those things. So we quickly get into the judgment. That's what we want to do with weology, is stop judging and ask questions. The question is more important than the answer. That's how we build our community. That's how we help each other get what each other needs. Because I'm focused on you getting your needs met. I'm focused on you getting your needs met. I'm focused on you getting your needs met. And each of us are going through doing that. Where's the problem?
What about your needs?
Well,
I'm taking care of your needs.
She's in my head.
But what about you?
You see, that's what we've been taught.
Yeah.
I just went down the line and said, I'm taking care of your needs. 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 Nobody made the direct connection. Now it's his turn. He's pointing at me. He's pointing at you. He's pointing. And now it's your turn. You're pointing. What about your needs? Your needs just got covered by everybody that's in here.
That's what.
You understand? That's what weology is. So that now, when I stop doing what's in my best interest, dude, what's going on with you? Now you're saying, dude, what's going on with you? Dude, what's going on with you? Dude, what's going on with you? Now we're truly taking care of each other.
That's beautiful.
Same thing in your relationship. Once you get that bond, nothing should be able to get in there. But that bond also comes with that sacrifice. Like we're gonna have some crying. We're gonna have some, as they say, come to Jesus meetings. Right? Because we have to build that bond. It's not based off niceties. You're a universe, and you're still trying to figure you out. You think this person not trying to figure themselves out?
Yeah, they are.
And then we're trying to figure out each other. So if we don't communicate open and honestly, of course it's going to fail. We're going to get right back to those relationships at zero. Right?
I don't know why you just did that.
No. All of our relationship statuses are extremely low percentage.
I just
She
called. She
thought it was
Yeah.
funny.
That's your sister. She's supposed to laugh at you. That's what she's going to do. She's going to pick on you. That's the beauty of family.
You open it up for her to laugh.
No, because it's going to be your family. Like, look, you're going to be dressed up. You're going to be looking good, got your stuff together. And she's going to be like, I don't think you put enough lotion on your ankles.
Hey,
You know?
yeah.
That hurts.
Shit.
That's her. You just did her.
Exactly. They gonna be looking for that crack. They be like, ah, you alright.
You was just in my eye.
But that's what family's gonna do. But this is where it gets. We have to have real conversations, and we have to realize that all of us are pilgrims in our journey, mind and our minds, facing all of the bombardment of stuff we've been taught. You see, we've accepted these things, and a lot of these things started when we were 7. It became concrete in us. That's the way our brains work. But in order to cleanse, right? In order to cleanse, you have to put what's there, new habits, new patterns of thinking, new patterns of behaving, new patterns of feeling. And that's going to be the true journey. That's going to be the true testament. If you are competent enough to get what you say you deserve.
I'm sorry, I just had a.
Don't be sorry.
Yeah, it just tasted the same. You know, I poured more water in it, and it still tastes as good. Yeah.
You watered it down.
No, it still. I just said it still tastes as good.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Slow moment. You know?
No doubt.
Yeah.
I can dig it. All right.
Beautiful.
So we're good.
Well done. Well done.
Appreciate you guys coming out.
Oh, I love coming here.
Safe
I was
travels.
excited. Like, I was anxious. You can ask my sisters. I'm like, is it Thursday?